You must acknowledge this now after age 70. A critical biological shift occurs in your vision. The retina, that fine sensitive tissue at the back of your eye, loses structural integrity. Crucially, this decline provides no advance warning. There is no physical pain, no throbbing, no immediate sign of distress. It simply begins to degrade slowly and without announcement. One day you navigate small print without effort. The next, the text is indistinct. You find yourself squinting more often. You demand brighter illumination. Night driving becomes a genuine struggle. Faces you know appear less defined. This is not simply getting older. This is a tangible physical failure in the eye's light processing center. By the time most individuals recognize this issue, functional loss has already occurred. However, you have an advantage now. You can intervene. You do not require expensive supplements to do this. The most potent support often originates from an uncomplicated existing food source in your own kitchen. I'm referring to seeds. Yes, these seeds. They are small, financially accessible, and densely packed with essential nutrients for your eyes, including omega-3s, antioxidants, and crucial minerals. They actively enhance circulation, mitigate inflammation, and directly support the preservation of vision, particularly past the age of 70. In this discussion, I will detail 3 powerful seeds that are proven to protect your eyes and maintain acuity. I will explain their biological function, the correct dosage, and practical application methods, even if you avoid foods with a pronounced crunch. If you are experiencing dryness, blurred vision, or are committed to preserving your independence and mental sharpness, pay attention. If this is your first time here, this is a necessary intervention. If this guidance proves useful, secure your place here by subscribing. Now we begin with the first seed. You may underestimate its profound efficacy. Consider the case of Margaret, 74, a patient who presented with the sensation of sandpaper eyes, daily dryness, blurriness setting in by midday, and a dependence on lubricating drops. Her frustration and underlying fear were palpable. She is a passionate reader of mysteries, but her vision failed her by the second chapter. What she and most people fail to grasp is that tear film quality and blood flow are as vital to eye health as the retina itself. This is precisely where sunflower seeds prove their worth. These small seeds are one of nature's highest sources of vitamin E, a fat-soluble antioxidant essential for shielding the retina from oxidative damage. As you age, free radicals generated by UV light, environmental toxins, and even digital screens systematically erode the delicate cells in your eyes. Research confirms that vitamin E can slow the advancement of age-related macular degeneration by actively protecting retinal cells from stress. This action is critical for older adults with significant sun exposure or those who read under high-intensity light. The utility of sunflower seeds extends far beyond this single vitamin, however. They provide an optimal balance of healthy monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, which are required to synthesize and maintain a stable tear film. This tear film is what keeps your eye surface consistently hydrated, smooth, and comfortable. Inadequate dietary fat causes this protective layer to break down, resulting in burning, itching, or rapid eye fatigue. Further, sunflower seeds contain the crucial minerals selenium and magnesium. Selenium reinforces the antioxidant enzymes that protect the fragile internal blood vessels of your retina. Magnesium ensures these vessels remain relaxed and fully open, guaranteeing oxygen and nutrients successfully reach your eye tissue. Insufficient blood flow to the retina is directly associated with vision fatigue, blurred sight, and elevated eye pressure in seniors. Studies confirm magnesium's indispensable role in ocular circulation and its potential in reducing glaucoma risk. Margaret implemented 1 tablespoon of unsalted shelled sunflower seeds into her morning oatmeal. After only 3 weeks, she reported the cessation of midday eye discomfort and the ability to complete her novels. A minor change yielded a major physiological result. Naturally, not everyone processes seeds identically. If you have gallbladder or digestive sensitivities, start with a teaspoon. Chew thoroughly, or incorporate them into a smoothie or yogurt if chewing is difficult. If you monitor your sodium intake, you must select raw or lightly roasted seeds without added salt or oil. The highly salted snack varieties will not deliver the therapeutic benefit you require. The bottom line, sunflower seeds supply vitamin E to defend the retina from cellular damage. They promote natural tear production to resolve dry, gritty eyes. They improve circulation so your eye tissues receive adequate oxygen. They quietly and effectively reinforce and hydrate your vision from within. If you battle dry eyes, blurry afternoons, or light sensitivity while reading, this may be your overlooked resolution. The advantage is that you need nothing complex. You need one small spoon every day. I recently spoke with Joseph, a 76-year-old retired school teacher, mentally acute yet troubled. He stated, "My eyes feel depleted by 10 a.m. and they remain dry even when I drink enough water." Joseph is not an anomaly. I hear this concern every week. What most individuals fail to realize is that simple hydration is insufficient. For your eyes, particularly the retina, to maintain function, you require specific nutrients that actively retain moisture, decrease inflammation, and protect the light-sensing cells. This is precisely the point of distinction for chia seeds. Chia seeds are minute, but their biological density is enormous. 1 tablespoon provides a potent combination of plant-based omega-3s, antioxidants, and soluble fiber. All these components are documented to benefit eye health, particularly for individuals over 70. Start with the omega-3s. Your retina contains a higher concentration of omega-3 fatty acids than almost any other bodily tissue. These fats are critical for maintaining the structural integrity of the photoreceptor cell membranes, the cells that detect light and relay it to the brain. The problem is that many seniors do not regularly consume oily fish, and some cannot tolerate fish oil supplements due to digestive or drug interaction issues. Chia seeds provide alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3. While ALA is not as immediately potent as the DHA found in fish, scientific data suggests the body can convert a meaningful portion of it when consumed consistently. Even a modest increase in ALA intake is associated with reduced retinal inflammation and improved ocular blood flow. Next, consider the antioxidants. Chia seeds contain lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 pigments naturally present in the eye's macula. These compounds serve to filter damaging blue light, which originates not only from screens, but also from sunlight and indoor lighting. Studies highlight that a higher intake of these 2 compounds may substantially reduce the risk of age-related macular degeneration. Perhaps the most neglected benefit of chia is its hydration capacity. When soaked, chia seeds develop a gel-like consistency in the body. This mechanism helps the body retain moisture and stabilize the vital tear film coating the eye surface. For seniors who may not hydrate adequately or who live in arid climates, this effect is transformative. Joseph began incorporating just half a tablespoon of soaked chia seeds into his morning oatmeal. Within 2 weeks, he confirmed he was reading the newspaper without needing eye drops by mid-morning. It is a minor adjustment, but it succeeds because it addresses the underlying pathology: inflammation, poor fluid retention, and oxidative stress. If you decide to utilize chia, implement it slowly. 1 teaspoon daily is a secure starting point. You must soak them in water or mix them thoroughly into moist foods like porridge or yogurt. Never consume them dry. They will expand and cause severe digestive discomfort. If you struggle to digest seeds, a light grind will make the nutrients more accessible. Always ensure adequate water intake, particularly if you are on medications that influence fluid balance. The composite effect: chia seeds have the potential to decrease retinal inflammation, offer protection against macular degeneration, stabilize your tears, and are simple to integrate into almost any meal. A small spoonful a day is the necessary commitment for sustained visual acuity. If chia seeds are the quiet, essential flax seeds, represent the silent guardian with a particular focus on the macula. To clarify, the macula is the section of your retina responsible for sharp central vision. It enables you to read, recognize faces, drive, and focus. After 70, this is one of the initial regions to exhibit compromise. I worked with Helen, 78, a retired piano instructor who could no longer clearly see the sheet music she had played for decades. Her previous doctor dismissed it as normal aging. I knew better. This is the precise intervention point for flax seeds. Flax seeds are an extremely concentrated source of alpha-linolenic acid ALA, the plant-based omega-3. As discussed with chia, ALA supports the critical cell membranes in the retina, but flax seeds contain a higher concentration of ALA per gram than chia. More importantly, clinical research indicates that ALA reduces inflammation in retinal tissues, improves blood flow dynamics, and preserves the structure of the photoreceptors, all non-negotiable elements of macular function. Flax seeds offer more than just omega-3s. They are the single richest natural source of a specific antioxidant class known as lignans. These are not generic antioxidants. Lignans are shown to actively neutralize free radicals in blood vessels, enhance the flexibility of the fine capillaries in the eye, and reduce glare sensitivity. A common complaint for seniors driving at night or reading under bright light. Helen started adding 1 tablespoon of ground flax to her yogurt each morning. Within 1 month, she reported, "I can finally see the notes clearly again." I did not realize how obscured things had become. This is the quiet power of unwavering nutritional support. Here is a less obvious benefit. Flax seeds also support your gut health, which has a direct, profound connection to your eyes. This connection is defined as the gut-eye axis, a line of communication between your intestinal bacteria and the immune response in your eyes. When your gut flora is balanced, systemic inflammation, including that in your retina, decreases. When your gut is compromised, inflammation becomes widespread. Flax seeds contain soluble fiber that nourishes the beneficial bacteria in your gut. A healthier microbial balance leads to lower overall inflammation, which translates directly to reduced redness, less dryness, and improved healing in the eyes. This is the vital directive: flax seeds must be ground. Whole flax will pass through your digestive system without being broken down. You must grind them yourself or purchase them pre-ground and refrigerate them immediately to protect the oils from degradation. Begin with 1 teaspoon daily. Sprinkle them into oatmeal or smoothies. Mix them into soup or even baking batter. Crucially, always consume them with water. Flax is highly absorbent and requires moisture for proper digestion. If you are currently taking hormone-sensitive medications or blood thinners, you must consult your physician first. Lignans in extremely high amounts can subtly affect hormone metabolism, though the standard daily dose in food is generally safe. In summation, flax seeds mitigate inflammation, protect your central macula vision, reinforce your ocular blood vessels, and improve gut function. All these mechanisms combine to support sharper, clearer sight. They do not merely defend your macula. They defend your freedom, your ability to read, recognize your loved ones, and remain engaged with your environment. This is all achievable with a seed that fits in your palm. You now possess the knowledge of these seeds' power. The goal is to make the implementation simple. You do not need to radically overhaul your diet. You need a small, consistent habit that you will adhere to. Start slowly and methodically. Chia seeds begin with 1 teaspoon per day. Soak them in water or mix into yogurt or oatmeal. Allow them to hydrate before consumption. Do not consume dry. Ground flax seeds. Once comfortable with chia, incorporate ground flax. Never use whole flax. Start with half a teaspoon daily, then advance to 1 tablespoon. Mix into smoothies, porridge, or sprinkle over food. Store ground flax in the refrigerator. Sunflower seeds. These are the simplest. Select raw or lightly roasted unsalted. 1 tablespoon daily is the optimal target, but decrease the amount if you experience digestive sensitivity. Sprinkle on vegetable soups or mix into snacks. If chewing is difficult, blend into yogurt or a smoothie. Timing and precautions. Morning consumption is ideal as your digestion is active, allowing for nutrient absorption throughout the day. Always drink water with your seeds. Their fiber density requires moisture for correct digestion. If you prefer a structured routine, implement a rotation chia on Monday, flax on Tuesday, sunflower on Wednesday, and repeat. Alternatively, combine small quantities of all 3 into your breakfast a few times a week. Consult your physician immediately if you are on blood thinners, hormone treatments, or blood pressure medication. These seeds are gentle, but their subtle biological effects must be monitored alongside certain drugs. The truth is that effective change is not dramatic, it is consistent. 1 spoonful daily is a sufficient commitment to support your vision, your circulation, and your physical comfort. You are not striving for perfection. You are simply giving your eyes the precise, necessary nutrition they have quietly required all along. You have made it to the end. This signifies that you prioritize your vision, your independence, and your future in a way most people do not. I respect that resolve. You now know that the pathway to clearer vision does not necessitate expensive pharmaceuticals, complex regimens, or painful procedures. The true answer is often humble, small, and overlooked. A small teaspoon of chia in your breakfast, a spoonful of flax stirred into your food, a few sunflower seeds instead of an inflammatory snack. These are not miracle cures. They are gentle acts of nourishment, deliberate choices that over time will protect your retina, hydrate your eyes, reduce chronic inflammation, and maintain your connection to your life. Do not expect a change on day 1. Commit for 2 weeks, then 4, then 8. Then, like Margaret, Joseph, and Helen, you will look up one morning and recognize that you are seeing the world with greater clarity, reading with less effort, and living with reduced strain. That is your comeback. Not loud, not instantaneous, but steady and real. You have already accomplished the most difficult step: paying attention, acquiring the knowledge, and committing to the process. Now the only step remaining is to begin. If this guidance was useful even for a single sentence, you must click like. If you know someone struggling with blurry vision, dry eyes, or worry about their independence, share this with them. It may be the exact intervention they need today. If you are new here, subscribe for more definitive science-backed guidance designed specifically for you. Until our next session, prioritize your eyes, your health, and yourself. I will hold you accountable.